friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 20th of December and we are going to deal with three very important topics. The first is procedure for removing a High Court judge. Actually, a resolution has been supported by more than 50 Member of Parliaments of the Rajya Sabha against a judge of the UP High Court. Their allegations are that this judge was misbehaving. Why? Because this judge was available at an event hosted by the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and there he was found talking loose remarks about the minorities and advocating for bringing in a uniform civil code. The procedure for removing a judge of the High Court or the Supreme Court is very stringent. 50 supporters have to be there in Rajya Sabha, 100 in case of Lok Sabha. Then this resolution is given for I would say investigation to an investigation committee by the Speaker of the House or the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, and then it has to be passed by special majority in both the houses. Then it goes to the President and the judge stands impeached. So this is the entire scenario. Next, Moldova joins the International Solar Alliance. International Solar Alliance, which was formed in the year 2015, a brainchild of India, headquartered in India, contains all those countries which have sunshine potential. Means those countries which lie completely or partially in the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. The main aim is to make financing easy and technology easy for these countries who are willing to produce solar energy, thereby reducing their carbon footprints and increasing their access to energy. More than 100 countries have now become members of ISA, that is International Solar Alliance. Then the theme which we had been doing, we are still continuing with that is healthcare in India, the structure, public healthcare in India. We will be talking about this and then we will be talking or discussing the MCQs based on these three topics and discussing the answers to the MCQs of yesterday. Now the first topic, that is procedure for removing a High Court judge. Why this is in news? Because Justice Shekhar Kumar Yadav, a judge in the UP High Court, has been into controversy. Now, why? Because of his controversial remarks he made at a Vishwa Hindu Parishad event in December 2024, in which he targeted minorities and advocated for a uniform civil code. And they have also sparked significant political controversy as well, and due to which 55 MPs from the Rajya Sabha submitted a motion for the removal of this particular judge of the Allahabad High Court. And what are the allegations? Misbehavior. Actually, there are two grounds on which the judges of the High Court or Supreme Court can be removed. One is misbehavior, the second is incapacity. On these two grounds, judges can be removed. So, in case of Justice Shekhar Kumar Yadav, misbehavior has been the claim of these MPs, that he has been found misbehaving. Why? Because he was targeting the minorities, speaking some false talks about them or loose talks about them, and advocating for uniform civil code. Advocating for uniform civil code is not misbehavior, but yes, loose remarks or loose talks about the minority is. Opposition's motion for impeachment. So the opposition India bloc or India Alliance in the Rajya Sabha has initiated a motion to impeach Justice Yadav. 55 MPs, required are only 50, but yes, 55 MPs have signed the petition for impeachment. Total India bloc or India Alliance has 85 MPs in the Rajya Sabha. The motion could be formally moved soon depending on the final signatures and political developments over there. Constitutional provisions for removal of the judge of High Court. See, this resolution can be tabled in any of the house, Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha. If it is being tabled in Rajya Sabha, it has to be signed by 50 MPs. If it is being tabled in Lok Sabha, it has to be signed by 100 MPs. Means they are in support of this impeachment. Now, after this petition goes to the presiding officer of the house, in case of Rajya Sabha, it is the chairman, in case of Lok Sabha, it is the speaker. It is the chairman or the speaker, that is the presiding officer. It is dependent upon that presiding officer whether to accept that petition or not. Once accepted, it becomes the duty of that presiding officer to form an investigating agency or an investigating body or comprising of 3 people. 2 are the judges of Supreme Court or High Court and 1 is an eminent jurist. The findings of this committee are then tabled in the parliament, both the houses, or in in that particular house which has formed this investigating committee or investigating body, and based on the findings, the resolution is voted upon. So let's suppose it has been introduced in Rajya Sabha, as is the case right now. So Rajya Sabha mein there will be voting. It has to be passed by special majority. Then it will go to Lok Sabha, it has to be passed by special majority over there. Once passed by special majority in both the houses, then this goes to the president and the president finally impeaches the judge. This is the actual procedure, so we'll see it in detail now. So the Indian Constitution provides procedure for removal of judges under Article 124 if the judge is of the Supreme Court and under Article 217 if the judge is of the High Court. Can be removed on grounds of proved misbehavior and incapacity. These are the 2 grounds on which a judge can be removed. However, these terms are not explicitly defined in the Constitution. They are not explicitly defined. So, how the proceedings go? Removal motion signed by 100 members in case of Lok Sabha, 50 members in case of Rajya Sabha is given to the speaker or chairman. If the motion is admitted by the speaker or chairman, then a 3-member committee to investigate into the charges is constituted. If the committee finds the judge to be guilty of the charges, that is misbehavior or incapacity, the house in which the motion was introduced can take up the consideration of the motion. That house has to pass this motion by a special majority, and this special majority simply means majority of the total membership of the house and majority of not less than 2/3 members present and voting. So this simply means that if the total membership of the house is 300, okay, so half of the membership is 150, okay. Now special majority is required, means 2/3 of the members present and voting. If they vote in favor of impeaching, and that 2/3 figure should be more than half of the total strength. That is what special majority is required. So, once the house in which the removal motion was introduced passes it with special majority, it goes to the second house which also has to pass it with a special majority, and after this an address is presented to the president for removal of the judge, and the president then passes an order removing the judge. So this is how things happen. Grounds for removal, there are 2 grounds for removal: misbehavior, willful misconduct, corruption, lack of integrity, offences involving moral turpitude. Second is incapacity, refers to physical or mental condition that makes the judge unfit to discharge their judicial duties. This includes both temporary and permanent incapacity. Procedure for removal. The Judges Inquiry Act 1968 provides the detailed procedure for the removal of judges because the Constitution is silent on multiple things. It includes multiple stages to ensure fairness and prevent misuse of removal mechanism by the legislature and executive. Initiating the process, a motion for removal must be signed by at least 50 Rajya Sabha MPs and 100 Lok Sabha MPs. It is submitted to the chairman of Rajya Sabha or the speaker of Lok Sabha, may accept or reject the motion after consulting the relevant parties. Then formation of inquiry committee, the motion is admitted, an inquiry committee is formed. This inquiry committee will comprise of 2 sitting Supreme Court or High Court judges and a distinguished jurist, an expert in law. If this committee finds out that the judge was involved in misbehavior or incapacity, then this is left for parliamentary approval. Motion for removal must then be passed by a special majority in both the houses of the parliament. Special majority means a majority of the total membership of both houses, a 2/3 majority of the membership present and voting in both the houses. If the motion is passed, then it goes to the president. Okay. So this is the procedure for removal. Now what happened in the case of Justice Shekhar Kumar Yadav? He is accused of making communally charged remarks at an event organized by Vishwa Hindu Parishad, and that is why this petition is there in the Rajya Sabha. Judicial conduct. According to the reinstatement of values of judicial life adopted by the Supreme Court in 1997, judges are expected to maintain conduct and uphold the impartiality of the judiciary and the public confidence. They are not supposed to engage in any actions that undermine the high office they hold. Code of conduct violation. The Judges Inquiry Bill 2006, which was not passed, sought to define misbehavior as including violations of judicial code of conduct. This also suggested minor disciplinary measures like issuing warnings, public or private censures, or even withdrawing judicial work for a limited period for misconduct that doesn't justify removal. Complexity of the removal process. There is high threshold for removal. See, special majority is required. It is very stringent. 50 members in Rajya Sabha, 100 members in Lok Sabha, they should be, supporting it. Then there is this Blackstone's ratio which is followed. What is this Blackstone's ratio? Carefully understand. The principle of better than 10 guilty persons escape than that one innocent suffers applies over here. Innocent should not suffer. Guilty, if they are escaping, if 10 guilty are escaping, they can escape. They should they escape. But an innocent should not suffer. This is what the Blackstone's ratio principle is. And this high threshold is applied in the judge's case. Okay. It is very much important to uphold the integrity and independence of judiciary from the legislature and executives. Now, possible outcomes and challenges. The role of Rajya Sabha chairman of the Rajya Sabha against whom a motion for removal has been submitted is unlikely to admit the current motion against Justice Yadav. See, since this has been tabled in the Rajya Sabha, in Rajya Sabha, the chairman, against the chairman also such kind of motions was tabled last week, we covered it. So, in this scenario, a person against whom removal motion has been, initiated or has been submitted, that person is eligible for this or not, or there are more chances that this person, the chairperson or chairman of Rajya Sabha is very less likely to admit such kind of motions. It can be a political gimmick of the political parties, the opposition parties. Given that the chairman himself might face such motions, this raises questions about the impartiality of the process. Then the Supreme Court's role. Supreme Court has already issued a notice seeking details of Justice Yadav's controversial speech. The judge may be called to explain his statements before the Supreme Court Collegium, which consists of senior judges from the Supreme Court. Now, the importance of judicial behavior. It is critical that judges maintain behavior that is consistent with the high constitutional office which they are holding. They are expected to display conduct that enhance public confidence and does not degrade it. So, this is what we need to know and understand. There have been past attempts for impeachment. There have been 6 impeachment attempts. First attempt, Justice V. Ramaswamy, 1993, grounds financial impropriety, misuse of office. Outcome, the impeachment motion failed despite a guilty finding by the committee. Justice Ramaswamy retired a year later. Defense, Kapil Sibal defended Justice Ramaswamy in the parliament. Second attempt, Justice Soumitra Sen in 2011, grounds corruption, financial misconduct. Outcome, the Rajya Sabha impeached Justice Sen, but he resigned before the Lok Sabha could vote, causing the motion to lapse. So, technically speaking, Soumitra Sen was also not impeached. Third attempt, Justice S. Gangel, 2015, alleged sexual harassment. Outcome, the committee cleared him of charges in 2017 and the impeachment motion was dropped. Fourth attempt, Justice J. B. Paradiwala in 2015, grounds remark about reservation and its impact on national progress. Outcome, the Rajya Sabha chairman Hamid Ansari dropped the motion after the controversial remarks were expunged from the judgment. Fifth attempt, Justice C. V. Nagarjuna, 2017, grounds victimization of a Dalit judge and financial misconduct. Outcome, MPs withdrew their signatures, causing the motion to fail. And sixth attempt, Chief Justice Deepak Mishra, 2018, allegations related to judicial independence and functioning. Outcome, Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu rejected the motion at the preliminary stage. So, these have been the past attempts, but yes, no such judge has been impeached. Now, the next is Moldova joins the International Solar Alliance. The International Solar Alliance is an international body which was formed in 2015 proposed by India, a brainchild of India, and more than 100 countries are now members of it or part of it. So, this agreement was signed between Mr. S. Jaishankar and Moldovan Deputy Prime Minister Mihai Popsoi in New Delhi. Now, overview about International Solar Alliance, if I talk about it, formation and purpose: intergovernmental treaty-based organization that aims to promote solar energy, seeks to reduce the cost of financing and technology for solar projects in these solar-rich countries, but these countries, most of them are not money or वैसे overall rich countries. It was jointly launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Francois Hollande on November 30, 2015 in Paris during the 21st Conference of Parties COP21, which is also known as the Paris Pact. Framework Agreement signing: ISA Framework Agreement was opened for signatures next year, that is November 15, 2016 in Morocco during COP22 of UNFCCC. Then on December 6, 2017, the agreement was ratified by 15 countries, marking the establishment of ISA as the first international intergovernmental organization to be headquartered in India. The headquarters is in Gurugram, Haryana. And on March 11, 2018, Prime Minister Modi and President Emmanuel Macron co-hosted the founding conference of ISA, that is International Solar Alliance. Membership and criteria, if I talk about: membership is open to solar resource rich countries located fully or partially between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Current memberships: as of now, the ISA has 120 signatory countries, with more than 100 countries becoming full members after ratifying the framework agreement. So 103 or 104 countries have ratified it. So it is like this, the remaining have not ratified it. Mission and vision of ISA: it aims to provide a dedicated platform for cooperation among the solar resource rich countries. Solar resource rich countries fully or partially between the tropics. Platform enables governments, multilateral organizations, corporates and civil society to work together to increase solar energy use, addressing energy needs in sustainable, equitable and affordable manner. Global relevance is considered key to achieving the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals and Paris Agreement on climate change. Partnerships and collaborations: it collaborates with multilateral development banks like World Bank and all, development financial institutions and private and public sector organizations. See, actually the main aim of this ISA is to make financing easy and technology access easy for these countries, because these countries have the highest potential of generating solar power. Solar power is a clean source of energy required by the world right now. But yes, these countries, most of them are poor, underdeveloped or developing, hence access to financing is difficult. And International Solar Alliance aims to make it easy. So this is the key objective. So key objective: overcoming barriers to solar energy, and these barriers are either financing or technology. Reducing costs of financing, that is, make finances available and at reduced cost of financing, means rate of interest and all should be low. Mobilizing investments: aim to mobilize over $1,000 billion in investment by 2030 for solar projects. Increasing solar applications: scale up the use of solar technology across ISA member countries. Research and development: facilitate collaborative research and development on solar technologies among member nations. And networking platform: promote a cyber platform for collaboration and exchange of ideas. Assembly of ISA, function and role: Assembly of the ISA is the apex decision making body which reviews critical matters such as approval of ISA's objectives and operational budget, evaluation of implementation of its various initiatives and programs, and all the members of ISA are part of it. First assembly of ISA, held on October 3, 2018, amended the framework agreement to allow all UN member states to join ISA. So it was not only the sunshine countries which is there in between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn completely or partially, but yes, in 2018 all the countries who are members of United Nations can join this particular International Solar Alliance. Annual meetings: the assembly meets annually at the ministerial level at the ISA's headquarters in India. So it is in Gurugram. Importance of Moldova's membership: so Moldova's inclusion in ISA signifies the growing global commitment to sustainable and clean energy, and Moldova will benefit from collaborative efforts to reduce the costs of solar technology and financing while contributing to the overall goal of increasing solar energy usage and all. Apart from it, India's role in it is a brainchild of India, headquartered in India. So India's role as a leader in solar energy also, shines with more and more countries coming and becoming part of it. This is a classic example of leading in this particular domain. But yes, we need financing, we need technology, and that is why we are here in this particular organization. Now, the last topic, that is healthcare in India, structure, public healthcare in India. We talk about the public healthcare in India. The public healthcare in India is a 3-tier structure. Primary healthcare, you remember Ayushman Bharat, available for primary, secondary and tertiary. So what is there in primary healthcare? This includes primary health centers and sub-centers that are supposed to provide basic healthcare services such as maternal and child health, vaccinations and treating minor illnesses like fever, diarrhea, all these things. For all these things you can go to these primary healthcare centers. These centers form the backbone of the rural healthcare. These centers are there in the rural areas. However, understaffing, lack of proper infrastructure and limited access to essential medical resources continue to be a challenge, and these primary healthcare centers are known as Ayushman Arogya Mandirs now. There was a name change last year, so this is what it is. And Ayushman Arogya Yojana or Ayushman Bharat Yojana aims to build the capacity of these primary healthcare centers. Then coming to the secondary healthcare, they are there at the district level. They are district hospitals and community health centers, CHCs. These hospitals offer specialized services like minor surgeries, obstetrics and gynecology care and general diagnostics as well. However, these hospitals are frequently overcrowded and the quality of care can be inconsistent due to lack of resources over here as well. And they are. Tertiary healthcare hospitals in India, located mainly in the metropolitan cities, provide specialized services like cancer care, organ transplant, complex surgeries and advanced diagnostic services. These are also government owned, but yes, they are like AIIMS, like Safdarjung Hospital in Delhi. These are multi-speciality hospitals. They offer tertiary care as well. Public tertiary hospitals such as AIIMS, PGI Chandigarh are among the best in the country, but are often overwhelmed with patients. You have to go, and stand in queues, stand in lines to get your number there. Role of center and states in healthcare service delivery. The center and state government share responsibility for healthcare. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare at the national level is responsible for policy making, while the state governments handle delivery of the services. So we have this national health mission under which public healthcare is funded, but funding remains inadequate. Now in the next lectures we will be discussing what are the budgetary allocations and all for healthcare in India, latest budgetary allocations and all. We will be discussing about that as well. Then we have that private healthcare system also, and 70% of the patients in India are being treated over here only in private healthcare systems. Private healthcare systems are more efficient. Obviously, money out of pocket expenditure is very high in the private healthcare sector. It is growing at a rapid pace, contributing significantly to the delivery of healthcare services, particularly in urban areas. Now, according to estimates, the private sector accounts for nearly 70% of total healthcare expenditure in India. The key aspects are private hospitals and clinics. These range from large corporate hospitals to smaller private clinics. Big hospital chains like Fortis, Max Healthcare and Apollo, they provide high-end medical services. The private health insurance market is growing, but it still remains limited in coverage, especially in rural areas. And it offers advanced care and shorter waiting times. It remains expensive. Out-of-pocket expenditure is very high. Now talking about the MCQs based on these three topics, consider the following statements and mark the correct one. A motion to remove a judge of High Court can be introduced in Rajya Sabha only. Once introduced, a 3-member committee is formed to investigate the matter. If found guilty of misbehavior or incapacity by the committee, then the judge stands impeached. Which of these statements are correct? You have to find out. Second, consider the following statements and mark the correct one. First is the Supreme Court does not have any stakes in removal of a judge of the High Court. The resolution for removal of a judge of High Court has to be passed by special majority in both the houses. Which of these statements are correct? Where is the headquarters of International Solar Alliance? Pretty simple question, straightforward. Which of these is a precondition for becoming a member of the International Solar Alliance? Membership of UN is important, must be fully between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Fifth, consider the following statements and mark the correct one. Primary healthcare centers offers vaccinations. The secondary healthcare centers offer general diagnostics. Only one, only two, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Now, yesterday's MCQs, 19th of December. Consider the following statements and mark the correct one. SLINEX, that is Sri Lanka India naval exercise, is being conducted between India and Sri Lanka only since 2005. Yes, SLINEX name is there, so only since 2005 is correct. SLINEX 2004 was conducted under the aegis of Eastern Command of Indian Navy. Yes, this is also correct. Hence, C is the correct option. Second, which Indian naval ship participated in SLINEX 2024 edition? INS Talwar, INS Delhi, INS Godavari or INS Sumitra. It was not this, not this, not this. It was INS Sumitra which participated. Sri Lanka is centric to which of the following foreign policies of India? Act East policy, no. Act East policy is about East Asia, Southeast Asia, Australia, New Zealand. So, Sri Lanka is in South Asia, so South Asia is not part of Act East policy of India. Neighborhood first policy, yes, it is part of neighborhood, so neighborhood first policy, common sensicality will be there. Sagar policy, yes, security and growth for all in the region is the full form, and this region is Indian Ocean region, and Sri Lanka is very much there in the Indian Ocean region. So, these two policies, the only 2 and 3 is the correct answer. Which of the following places are connected through ferry services between Sri Lanka and India? They are already connected. So, it is Nagapattinam and Kankesan-Thurai. This is true. Rameshwaram and Talaimanar, they are under development. In future, they will be developed, but yes, since they are not, connected as of now, so this is not the right answer. Chennai and Jaffna, we are talking about establishing an air route. So, this statement is also wrong. And none of the above will obviously be wrong because we have a right answer, that is Nagapattinam and Kankesan-Thurai. And last, which of these multilateral organizations do not have India and Sri Lanka as its members? So, IORA, that is Indian Ocean Rim Association, has 23 members, and India and Sri Lanka both are part of it. BIMSTEC has 7 members. These 7 members are Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar and Thailand. So, this is also not the correct answer since both are part of it. Colombo Security Conclave, there are 4 members in it, India, Sri Lanka, Maldives and Mauritius. So, this is also not there. Mekong-Ganga Cooperation is the correct answer because in Mekong-Ganga Cooperation there are 6 members. These are, Myanmar, Thailand, India, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, like this. So, this is the correct option. Okay. So, with this, we have come to an end of today's session. I will be seeing you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. I am not repeating it today. Namaste. Jai Hind.